Everybody, it's time for the Weekly Bee. Hosted by your friends Tom, Pax, and JP. Everything that ever happens, Billings-wise, or an excuse to drink in disguise. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. And everyone, it's the Weekly Bee.
So you can get away with murder, and looks like that guy did at one time.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, the Weekly Bee with Tom and JP. How are we today, Thomas?
JP, you know what, buddy? I am great today.
You
I am
great today?
great. Yeah, we're going to have a problem right off the get-go here.
What are we going to have a problem with?
One of the two of us forgot to grab ice for the drink glasses.
I guess I will be getting us some ice real fast.
All right, well, you get the ice, and I'll tell the lovely fans out there about this week's whiskey that we're going to dive into. It is a bottle of Basil Hayden's, but not regular Basil Hayden's. It is Basil Hayden's 2x2 rye. So, JP, what they did with this one is they blended 2 rye whiskeys and 2 bourbon whiskeys, put them together, and then it says, with this pleasant, lingering finish, this uncommon spirit is perfect for enjoying any way you like. And it sounds really good. It's got brown sugar, vanilla, 80 proof. We're off that 110 proof, the 93 proof we've been doing. This is just a standard 80 proof, and I think, honestly, the way it's described on the back of the bottle, I think I'm going to love it. I hope you love it.
Are you a big rye whiskey guy?
I really like the ryes. Yeah. I think it's the brown sugar afternotes that I really like. Yeah. I think that's what I really like about the rye. So without any further ado, let's try it.
Let's try it. Let's see where we're at.
I've really been looking forward to this bottle for a while because, it's got a green label on it. So I figured
Well, it goes into our St. Patrick's Day.
Great for St. Patty's Day. And I saw 2x2 rye. And I already love Basil Hayden, so I figured why not get this bottle and try it out.
Definitely does have a brown sugar to it.
Yeah. Vanilla, brown sugar.
I get a light of vanilla, but a lot of brown sugar and lots of rye.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah,
Pretty
I'm not a
good.
giant rye guy.
Huh.
But I'll drink it.
Well, you're going to have to.
I'm going to drink it.
You don't have a choice tonight.
So should I break the news to him right off the get-go?
What are we talking about?
The live show.
Oh, boy. We're confirmed, right?
We are confirmed. We are ready to rock and roll from 1 to 2:30 Saturday.
Yeah, let the people know.
Saturday, 1 to 2:30. We will be broadcasting live from Hooligan Sports Bars and all the festivities downtown. I really can't wait. This is going to be a good time, so make sure you stop by. We'll be kind of coming and going. I don't think we'll broadcast live the entire time. That's going to be a project.
Yes, we will.
We'll take little breaks because we'll have to pee and stuff.
I doubt it. I don't think we'll be drinking anything.
Oh,
we're going to be working.
I don't know what you're talking about. Why? Whoa! Time out. I am not fucking doing this without drinking. Come on, bud.
St. Patty's Day.
I know.
We can't be drunk during the podcast.
Lies.
Live. All right. Well, I guess we have a couple.
Yeah, we'll have a couple.
I'm going to do at least one carb on. So I went to Denver this weekend. So
Yeah, that was hockey.
Hockey was incredible. The Avalanche won, and if any of my Michigan friends are listening, I'm okay with that.
I was gonna see if I can rub that in a little bit, but I didn't even get to.
I've gone to 3 or 4 games now in Denver.
Yeah,
I hate
Pepsi Center's fun.
It is fun. It's a great little venue, big venue. It's I'm a Colorado Avalanche hater.
Yes.
I hate that hockey team. And for all of you out there who watch hockey, all 3 of you,
fuck the Red Wings.
The Avalanche. That's not a way to make friends in this room. The Colorado Avalanche are my most despised team. But the more I go to games down there, I find myself really rooting for them to win because you really want the home team to win, of course, unless they're playing the Red Wings. So I'm slowly rooting for my arch nemesis, the Avalanche.
Well, they've been. What were the Avs before? They were the Nordiques, right?
The Dallas.
No. They were Canadian. They were Quebec.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know this stuff. I just know that the Red Wings are normally awesome, except for this year they're in last place. So that's not good. Anyways, I don't want to talk about the hockey. I wanted to tell you that while I was in Denver, I was with my dad and my brother. And my brother and I were having a real good time. My dad doesn't really drink that many cocktails. He'll have a Captain and Diet.
I was right. Quebec Nordiques.
Quebec Nordiques, yeah. And I think they were better as the Nordiques. Let's be real. I don't think they ever won a game, but let's just say they were better. So we're down in Denver after the game. It was an afternoon game, so then we went out to dinner. We went bar hopping, hit up some food trucks, all that jazz. But my brother, we went to a place that didn't have Irish car bombs. They had Breck bombs, which is from Breckenridge Brewery down there and distillery. So it's their own take on the car bomb. Mm-hmm. So my brother orders 2, and then in front of my dad, I can drink a car bomb pretty fast. Like I'm one of the faster ones.
Yeah, it's skills.
And my dad watches me slam down this shot that's in a half a beer, and his eyes just got huge. Like he thought maybe I'd never done that before. And then I had to break the news to him that that's one of my favorite things to drink.
Your parents are struggling with your drinking.
Well, I think my parents, they don't struggle with that. They just struggle, I think, so much that I talk about it on the podcast so much. But, you got to tell the interesting parts. Like, I'm not going to get on the podcast and talk about how I did laundry today. That's not fun for anybody.
I didn't do laundry.
You haven't done laundry in months.
It's been years. I actually pay somebody to do that. Part of my week. That person failed to show up this week also. It's just been one of those weeks, but that's fine. We're just going to roll through it. You want to know why?
Huh.
Because you can't fix anything in the past. Just keep chugging along, buddy.
So today, when I asked you how your day was before we got on the podcast, you said I'm over this week.
Yeah.
And for those of you listening right now on Thursday, we actually record on Monday. So when JP says he's over this week on Monday evening, that's it's too early to be over this week.
It's been a week already, and we're one day into it. But you know what? We're just going to keep chugging along because it doesn't really matter.
We sure
I'll get
are,
through
man.
it.
Yeah, everything's going to work out. It always does.
I'll get through it. I always do. For some reason, somehow, I always end up getting through it. Sometimes my beard gets a little grayer. My hair's getting a little grayer. We struggle with those kind of things as we get older, but I'll deal with it.
Yep.
And really, honestly, everything that's going on is not that big a deal.
It's all fixable, right?
All fixable.
Sure.
All fixable.
It just takes money and time.
Lots of money.
Lots of money and a little bit of time.
Yeah, with lots of money, it could be fixed all very quickly within minutes.
Yeah, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're just got to make more of it then.
Nope. That's why we just keep working harder every day, every day.
Right.
That's why we need you guys to subscribe to this podcast because then I can just make a bunch of money doing this. Yeah. We could do this every day for you guys. Like Tom and I could sit here and make you guys laugh every single day.
All day, every day.
But you got to listen, you got to subscribe, and that'll make it better.
That really will make it better. And I'll tell you this, buddy. In Denver, I got another subscriber to the podcast.
Nice.
In Denver. Also, we have some subscribers up in Missoula now. We've got my brother, the whole family up there. Got a couple of his friends. Shout out to Travis, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know who that is, but apparently he's a subscriber now.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. We and I get told all the time that this is entertaining. So
I know, me too. Me too.
So the 86 of our friends that are keeping us alive every week, we appreciate you.
We sure do.
What's going on in town this week, Thomas?
I'm gonna defer that question straight to you, real quick.
We know about the holiday parade, the St. Patrick's Day parade on Saturday.
Yes.
I believe that starts at 9 a.m.
Do you go to that? Do you go to the parade?
I don't go to the parade. I don't have any need for the parade anymore. My kids are old enough that, unless I was just out hunting chicks, that would be the only reason that I would even think about it. But usually there's a bunch of booger eaters running around.
Right. They don't even throw candy anymore, right? That's illegal.
I think it's illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal.
Yeah.
They can go by and hand out candy, right?
No. I don't even think they can do that. I'm not really positive, though. I haven't been to... I'm sorry, the parade starts at 10 a.m.
Starts at 10?
Yeah, that's what it says. The St. Patrick's Day parade and Celtic Fair in the downtowns of the Billings from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Let's see, what all do they say they got going on? A tradition in the Billings community for over 30 years.
Wow, good.
Way
to get it together,
approximately
Billings.
100 floats in the parade.
Nice.
Takes place the weekend of St. Patrick's Day and is accompanied by a corresponding outdoor Celtic Fair.
Uh-huh.
Or Celtic. Is it Celtic or Celtic?
I think it's Celtic.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think so. But then why
Is it the Boston Celtics?
is it not the Boston Celtics?
Yeah.
People are screaming at us right now as they listen to this because we're probably wrong
Oh,
about
that's
whatever
fine.
we're saying.
Please comment on the Facebook post.
Yeah, please do.
Comment
Let us know
away.
how big of idiots we are all the time.
Bagpipers. And as usual, Sean will have the Bagpipers in Hooligans Brew Pub Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. The Bagpipers are all over town. I've seen them. They're going to be at the Red Door. I love if you ever get a chance and you're at the right place and the Bagpipers come in, they are really cool, unless you're bartending.
Yeah. Because everybody stops
And
everything.
it just
Actually,
fucks everything up.
it really does. But I will tell you this. When I was bartending at Hooligans and those guys would come in, to me, it's really loud, and it's kind of the same thing every time you hear them. So that part's annoying. But I always use that time because no one's ordering drinks, right? They're just watching the bagpipers.
Smoking piss.
Yeah, you got to smoke, you got to pee, you got to do all the dishes real quick, fill up with ice, get reset. Because as soon as they're done, the party just
Then
continues
it's time to go again.
right on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be down at Hooligans from 1 to 2:30
Yep.
on that day
We'll be at the beer pong table.
at the beer pong table. And here's the thing, guys. We want you to come up, and if you're excited to see us, just say hi. We might even let you speak into a microphone real quick. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
we haven't
I think
talked
we
about
should.
that. Okay.
Yeah. No. Let's let him do it.
Let's get the drunkest guy in the bar to come up and tell us his favorite St. Patty's Day story.
I'll be there.
Yeah. It won't be me. I'm going to try to keep it on the rails because we got a podcast to do. We got
I
to
love
stay professional.
Yeah, I love how we do this up here in the studio, and you're the drunkest guy leaving here
I don't think
sometimes.
that's true.
And then we're gonna go out in public, and you're gonna be all
Studious. Yeah.
square.
Very square. So that's happening. We got other parties going on for St. Patty's Day, I'm sure.
There's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm trying to Google 3 things as I'm trying to do this as well because
Well, I will tell you this. You and I weren't really sure we were going to do the podcast today because we had guests that were supposed to be on that couldn't be on, that were going to be on and then weren't, and then plans changed. And so all day long, I really didn't think we were going to do this podcast tonight. And then when you texted me and said we're going to do the podcast tonight, I looked at my clock that's on my wall, not on my phone, and I
It's
said
an hour off.
It's an hour off, and I'm like, I got plenty of time.
Tom, how do you feel about daylight savings? Are you a
Dude.
for or an against?
I want it to be lighter later all the time. So I want us to, from where we're at now, where it stays bright until 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, I don't ever want to switch back to non-daylight savings time. I just want it to stay here. And then in the wintertime, it'll get dark at like 6 o'clock, which would be normal, or 5 o'clock. And in the summer, it will just get dark at 10 o'clock. It'll be perfect. What do
I'm
you
for
think?
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really give two shits either way. It really doesn't affect my life all that much for other than one day.
Right. Right.
I mean,
One
I
day,
love
2
the
days.
people that are on daylight savings week when it's like Wednesday or Thursday. You're like, fucking daylight savings time has fucked up my whole fucking week. No, it hasn't. You fucked up your week. You're just blaming it on like everybody anymore. Let's just blame it on something else because it's not my fucking fault. I didn't do it. That goddamn daylight savings time. It's not daylight savings time. It's your fucking fault, okay?
Also, yeah, if you're like 30 or 40 years old and you haven't figured out how to get through daylight savings time yet and not have it ruin your day, that might be on you. 'Cause
I
we've
get
been
if you
doing
get
it
small
solid.
kids.
Yeah.
I get if you get small kids. It fucks with them for
Or
a
a
little
dog.
bit.
A dog doesn't understand the time change.
No,
So
no.
if I feed Zeus every day at 5 o'clock, in his world, it's 6 o'clock, and he's like, where the fuck is my food right now? Like, why are you holding out on me?
Dick.
And then I point at the digital clock, and I'm like, buddy, read the clock. I don't expect him to read analog, but he can read a digital. Right? So, a couple days goes by, and he gets it figured out.
By Wednesday, he's not fucking daylight savings time.
I will tell you this. We've been, as you've listened to the podcast or if you live in Billings, you know that it has been a brutal couple of weeks with the weather and the snow and the weather and the snow and the cold, frozen pipes, fucking 20 below zero, 30 below with the wind chill. It's been brutal. But today, I wasn't here this weekend, but today, it
was
was
good all weekend.
45, sunshiny, snow melting everywhere. And I will tell you this. I will share this with you and the listeners. I went to the dog park today with Zeus. Not once, but twice.
Ooh.
Because when I went there in the morning, it was beautiful and nice, but there weren't any dogs there yet. And I wanted him to get the full experience of the dog park. So I took him back there at like 5 o'clock when I knew it would be packed. And sure as shit, man, there was like 30 dogs there. Zeus was just losing his mind, just running around, sniffing all the butts, running as fast as he could, licking all the faces.
Did you see the lady that called the cops on the dude because the dude's dog humped her dog at the dog park?
Yeah, I heard about that story.
Yeah, now, don't dogs hump at the dog park? I've never been to the dog park. One, I don't have a dog. Two, don't like parks. So I don't know these answers.
Yeah, well, I mean, if your dog starts to hump another dog at the dog
You're
park,
like, hey, get the fuck off.
yeah, you let him. It's
kinda like at the bar.
You let him go for a minute, and then you separate him. No, you don't let him go at all. And normally it's not. It's an aggression thing. It's a dominance thing, right? So you try to break that up right away. So if the lady's dog got mounted by another dog, then she should just, it really doesn't take much. They know that they're fucking up, so you just go tell them to stop.
Hey,
I don't think you need to get the cops involved.
No.
I think they probably have better things to do. Was this in Billings?
No,
Okay.
it was just one of those national things that people freak out about. Speaking of the weather, I just saw this on Facebook a minute ago. National weather experts say Montana just endured life-threatening, historic cold snap. I mean, don't get
Are you
me
serious?
wrong. It was fucking cold. But this wasn't fuck.
No, I
On
mean,
the
it's-
grand scheme of things, I'm not. Hey,
It has been colder.
Before you blow me up on the Facebooks, I'm not saying that it wasn't cold.
'Cause
I'm
it
not-
was.
It was cold. Okay, don't get me wrong. It was cold, but it was not life-threatening or historic by any fucking stretch of the imagination. Fuck me.
Put a coat on, get a hat, and get some
It
gloves.
was 2 goddamn days, okay? And it wasn't even like a day and a half of below zero for crying out loud? Like, that wasn't historic. Fuck.
I wonder what would happen if it really was. Like, if it really was a life-threatening
We had one of
historic-
those, like, 10-day experiences like we used to have regularly when I was a kid.
Yeah, but-
I hate to play the whole when I was a kid fucking
Sure.
game, but, I mean, we had winter
when
and
you
shit
used to
back
walk
then.
uphill both ways.
Yeah,
in
fuck
the snow.
yeah.
Yeah,
I flew the airplane with my arms.
with your arm.
With my arm, yes. With my arm, I flew that plane.
If we don't get one dummy hand joke in
No,
per
it's just-
podcast, it's
yeah.
not going to be a real podcast.
No.
No, there was a stretch of time like 2 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, because I had just bought my Jeep and I was really excited because I know that Jeeps have epically warm heaters because they have to. It's
putty.
Yeah. And I remember I just bought it in November, and then sometime in January, February, it was 20 below, not with the wind chill, legitimately 20 below, probably 35 or 40 below with the wind chill. That was just a couple of years ago, and that was not historic nor life-threatening.
No, and I don't understand what was historic or life-threatening about 2 fucking days.
I think what's happening is that with the internet now and everybody having a voice and everybody can complain or not complain, but just, their voice
Well, I'm
can be
complaining
heard.
about complaining, okay?
Sure. Their
Yep.
voice can be heard, and so everybody thinks that because their voice can be heard that their voice is a valid voice. And really it's not. Just shut up. Just
Great Falls bore the brunt of the worst of it with a record-setting streak of 32 days. 32 days.
that's a
with
stretch.
temperatures below zero. Just below zero.
Oh. But that's
Or below freezing. Not even below zero.
Oh, not
below
below.
freezing.
so 31 degrees for 31 days in a
Yeah.
row? I'll take it. I'll take it right now.
Been through worse. Yeah. Montana also set a new record low for the month with the temperature recorded at Elk Park, north of Butte. Which, who the fuck's ever been there?
Minus 65?
Minus 46.
Oh,
It was just the temperature for the month. Wasn't
on.
the coldest temperature in
ever.
Montana
What is the
ever.
coldest temperature in
Minus-
Montana ever?
minus 77, I want to say.
something, yeah.
But it's a cold one.
But I'll tell you this, what's coming up now is the fact that it's not going to be cold really anymore. We have now gotten through it. The light is on at the end of the tunnel, and it's supposed to be, high 40s, which usually means low 50s all next week. There's supposed to be 1 day of snow, but I'll believe it when I see it. Coldest day?
70 below zero at Rogers Pass, north of Helena, January 20th, 1954. That is life-threatening.
That's 5-10 minutes outside, you might die.
Did you know that that is also the record for the coldest temperature in the lower 48?
No.
Mm-hmm.
We own that record?
We own that record.
That's amazing. Be proud, Montana.
Try and take the other side. What's the warmest temperature in Montana ever?
Oh, I'm going to put the guess at 109.
Way wrong. We've been hotter than Billings.
Okay, yeah. 114.
117 in Glendive and Medicine Lake. Glendive was in 1893. So I don't know if I trust that fucking thermometer.
That was just a guy trying to put Glendive on the map.
Glendive's claim to fame. Nothing and 117. And then Medicine Lake on July 5th, 1937. Could you imagine that 4th of July celebration? No fireworks in 37.
No.
No fireworks in 37.
They didn't have fireworks. They just had guns back then. Those are rifles.
I suppose probably in 37 in Montana, it probably was a lot of that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Just guns and horses.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I don't think anything's wrong with that.
Yep. Let's see. What else we got going on here? Arterial Drive.
Every week.
No. Every week I fuck it up because they're there every week, and you'd think I'd still be able to sell. But this one here is Sunday at Walker's.
Oh, good.
Where I'm having dinner.
I'm
Sunday.
already having. I have reservations that night.
You have reservations?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's Grandma's birthday.
Oh.
Not my grandma. Somebody else's grandma. Taking Grandma Irene out to dinner that night. It's going to be delicious.
Club night, March 15th at
With
the
DJ?
Petroleum Club
Yep,
with
DJ Benefit.
our boy DJ Benefit.
Also, let's give this a shout out because it's the last weekend for it. The play at Nova, The Importance of Being Earnest.
Yeah.
That is going on final weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I think they have a Sunday matinee. Don't quote me on that.
Is that the one our boy's in?
Yep, Chaz Llewellyn is in that. I don't know. I think I'm going on Thursday.
You heard that, did I tell you that we got those guys tied down?
No. Who did we get tied down today?
The Projectile Comedy Crew are coming up to do a little chit-chatting. Not next week. Next week is the one and only Scott Burby.
Yep. Next week, Scott Burby.
I can't wait
to talk about March Madness and his. So every year, Scott goes to Vegas to bet on March Madness.
They spend all day.
And several years ago, I told him, I was going to Vegas with friends, and I bought a suit, because I like to go out in the clubs and look nice and just make a night of it. And so I told Scott that I bought a suit to go to Vegas, and he goes, "Why the fuck would you need a suit to go to Vegas?" It's like, because there's clubs, and then you go out to the clubs and you have a nice dinner, spend a couple $100 on a really fancy dinner, and you don't want to be. And he's like, "Dude, I've never even left the
sports book.
The sports book. I just sitting there in my sweats." He's literally
Carnival
said
Court.
Sweats. Yep, Carnival Court, sports book. Doesn't leave that room for 3 solid days and just bets on March Madness. So he's the perfect guy to have on the podcast for the March Madness extravaganza that's coming up.
So I found the bagpipes and drums schedule here.
Okay.
There's one thing on here that I don't know if they knew. I don't know if they just put this out before this happened, but they will be at Pug Mahone's at 8:45 on Saturday.
Ooh, just right outside there. Did they copy and paste last year's schedule?
I don't know. Friday night is Yellowstone Valley Brewing, Trailhead Spirits, Fiddler's Green, and then Montana Brewing Company and Hooligans at 8 o'clock on Friday night. And then Saturday is Canyon Creek, Fiddler's Green, Last Chance Gulch. What is Last Chance Gulch?
Last Chance Cider Mill?
That's what I'm thinking it's supposed to be, is Last Chance Cider Mill.
Yeah.
Thirsty Street Brewing, Pug Mahone's, and then Brew Pub Hooligans again.
Do you think that Brew Pub Hooligans just gets to take Pug Mahone's time?
Or
Thirsty
they took
Street?
all their...
Never mind.
And I cut you off there for a reason.
Thanks, buddy.
Sunday, Red Door at 4. And then Canyon Creek again. And then 6 o'clock, Brew Pub Hooligans again at 6 o'clock on Sunday. So,
nice. There's lots of places to go. There's lots of bars to hit up during the St. Paddy's Day. But in all honesty, if you have one really great Irish pub in Billings, that's probably the one you should go to.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is Uber.
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 Yeah, please Uber. Please
Uber,
don't
Lyft.
drive around.
Let's not drive around on this one. What do you think? Should we get in the show and get our boy Eric Rasmussen up here and
Yes.
see what entertaining things he has to say to us?
Dude, he is a wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
I can't wait for what he's going to talk about tonight because
I have no
it's
idea what he's
always
going to talk
amazing.
about. I'm sure he's got some sort of antics on how St. Patrick's Day was caused by a ship that had 3 rudders that was built
And
on
he knows the captain of each of those
Yeah.
ships and their history.
That's why we love him.
He's
so.
a wealth of knowledge, folks. You're going to love it.
All right. We'll be back.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Apologies to me and the Lord upstairs. Yep.
Upstairs. And on that note,
I'll tell you what, Jesus doesn't rent the basement apartment. Right?
no, he doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, neither does Eric Rasmussen.
Rassy Rass.
Nice to have you
guy.
back, buddy.
I appreciate you guys inviting me back. I assumed I would never be here again, but no, of course, you guys are gentlemen.
Why would you assume that? You're always entertaining.
Because I
I'm
take
still,
I take
whiskey full.
I take the default position, which is negative. That's all.
Sure, yeah.
It is
Self-deprecating.
and it served me well so far. It's been a safe bet thus far, so I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, you're just killing it.
Yeah, are you guys doing is this a Make-A-Wish thing? Is that why I'm here?
Yes, actually, we got a call from your mom. She said you got 8 days to live. Oh,
thank God you're back.
Yeah.
And my last wish was podcast fantasy camp, and so I just
And
wanted.
this is the best we could do.
Rogan said no, bud.
You're here. You're here.
So we did get the Rogan email.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got a response.
Hard no.
It was not what the response we were hoping for.
It was just LOL.
It just said
In
we
big
hope
letters
we hope
flashing.
he lives as long as he can, but we're not talking to him. No, that's
No.
not. No,
No, I don't think he's interesting enough.
no.
I think we go into what we were just talking about, flat Earth. Talk to me, Goose. I mean, I'm really
So,
intrigued by this.
By that I mean you mean Earth, right?
yes.
Just Earth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I joined a Facebook page request thing that was Flat Earthers Unite. I think you actually recommended it to me or something like that.
Oh no,
On
I can't
Facebook?
But I was going to say, I mean, no joke. They requested you though, Tom.
I think so. I don't remember exactly how it happened.
Because
But then
I get a lot of like energy patches. I get a lot of like shakes. I get a lot of MLM stuff, as we all do.
But you've never been Flat Earth requested? I must be a hardcore conspiracy theorist. Anyways, I joined the group because I wanted to laugh at it and make
Well,
fun
of
of it.
course.
But somebody in my old family, in my ex family,
How old is the Flat Earth family?
called me out and asked why I was friends with the Flat Earthers.
Yes.
And I had to explain the fact that I just thought it was a very funny joke.
Yeah.
But have you seen Behind the Curve? Have you watched that?
So as per your recommendation, Tom, I
Sure.
did watch it, and it's a great documentary. As
Right.
far as you will watch it, but then of course I watched it with a room of people, and you will be divided too. Some people get it as this is a source of entertainment, but then you'll also get the folded arms, kind of like look at these idiots, kind of which they're missing the point there.
They really are. It's for entertainment, for sure.
It is.
But then there's the third class of people
what is this?
that watches it and then they get hooked.
They flip.
They flip and they watch it and they're like, maybe the flat Earth is a thing.
yes.
There's a big ice
So
wall
why-
around the border and there's a hole in the middle and there's like the Truman Show set.
So it's exactly the Truman Show. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I could not agree more. But let me ask you, both you boys, this: who do you think is the person that gets convinced by it, or who pursues it? Who goes, this? Yes, maybe. Who is that person?
It's the same person that would join a cult. Like just lost in the world. No.
Yes, and this gives them a direction, or this gives them an avenue, or it defines them as a person.
Yeah, then
kind
they
of?
get to belong to the club.
Yeah.
They're part of this club, and it's elite because there's not very many people
Yes.
in it. There's probably,
Right.
5,000 flat earthers out there.
No,
So you get
when
to
they
be part
book the
of that
Hilton,
team.
they book the small ballroom at the Hilton, which is
JP, you've been kind of quiet on this. Are
I'm
you
actually-
a flat earther?
No, I am not. I'm actually over here doing some research as you guys are talking about this.
don't do that.
And
Don't
what I-
do
what-
that. You're
Don't go down that
That's how
rabbit
you get sucked in. Don't.
What,
no.
what I think is funny is most of these people that are on this list of famous people that are flat earthers.
Right.
I think all it is to bring them back to relativity for a second for
Oh,
people to
yeah.
go, are you fucking killing?
And by relativity, you don't mean that in the Einstein sense. You mean that in the pop culture sense.
Yeah,
of
like, one of these
my
people
name will
is-
now be a headline, or I'm trending.
As of one that is a pop culture person.
Sure.
Tila Tequila.
Tila Tequila is
Yeah.
definitely a flat earther.
She is a flat earther.
So I'm
she
disappointed because she's been right on so many things. Looks like she might let me down on this one.
B.O.B. the rapper.
Yep, BYO. Yeah.
Yeah. Who
Is
else?
there- is there
Sherry
a-
Shepherd or sorta. Yeah, just
Are there
nobody's.
there's no A-listers on that.
Not that I'm seeing
No.
in this list.
It's all people like you said, coming
Yeah.
back into making themselves relative a little bit.
I mean, let's look at this list over here because this is just actually quite entertaining to me. That these people, Kyrie Irving,
I don't know who that is.
basketball player.
I say if we put together a flat Earth basketball team, all-star team, not a bad team, I bet, right? Like
There's
those guys.
yeah, because I think there's a couple others out there.
Because I don't watch the All-Star game, but if it was flat Earth versus
Earth.
traditional Earth, as you I watch that ball game.
I would watch that all
Ironically,
day.
they're playing with a ball,
A sphere.
I want to point that
With a
out. I want to
sphere.
point that out.
It's Shaquille O'Neal.
No.
Just
It's right on
Not
there?
a chance.
reading it.
No, he's too funny. He's too sharp for this. There's
He's,
no way.
it's
well, he
probably
dresses-
just a joke.
He dresses
Right.
way too sharp
And he-
for that.
Like a pencil in an eye. Yeah, I mean, there's flat Earth societies, flat Earth.
It's crazy,
Groups.
dude. You got to watch the documentary.
I gotta watch the documentary.
you got to watch it. It's just a bunch of people living in their.
Who
I hate to
was
say it.
Who was on Rogan the other day with Infowars dude?
oh yeah, Alex Jones.
Eddie Bravo.
Eddie Bravo.
yeah.
And he is a big flat earther.
He really is, man.
And
even Alex Jones doesn't believe him. Doesn't follow
Or
that.
No,
there's
but
your
Alex-
litmus test.
yeah,
There's your
Alex-
canary in the coal mine.
Right.
yeah,
Alex Jones goes, "You lunatic."
Alex
You
Jones
crazy
was
idiot.
like, "I will give you. I will put up the $1 million
$1 million if you
for
can prove
you
it to me."
for you to float around the earth." And Eddie was like, "Nope, not in on that. I don't want you to prove me wrong because I'm out here getting Twitter follows because I'm a fucking loon."
So I would like to bring this up though. So part of the thing, I'm stealing this from someone else, but like the reason flat Earth has any traction whatsoever, this is kind of an indictment on our current education system, just a little bit, right? Is because for some reason,
Get me started on that.
no, but you know what I mean though, right? So for some reason,
Hold on, time out. We have a snow day. And go ahead and talk.
no problem. No, but you know what I mean though, right? So the science that disproves flat Earth, if you want to, they're like, oh, no one's even talking about it today. You know why? Because you have to go back to Archimedes to talk. You have to go back to Merlin, the wizard. He was disproven on the flat Earth stuff, right? But so current science doesn't talk about it because it's a foregone conclusion. Fine. But then even furthermore, it's leaving the scientific method out of our current science education at the elementary school and the junior high level. And so to disprove this, you have to go back to this medieval kind of a science thing
Right.
that for some reason people were never taught. Or as I say, it's a failure on our current education system because that should be on board. You should have that built in. That's saying if
You should.
That should be saying if
I know how to solve this.
if I drop a ball, it accelerates towards the center of our Earth. I used to have that. I used to have that like 8.6 meter per second squared. I'm sure that's wrong, but something to that effect. But go on, Pierce. What?
It's easy to solve. The motherfucker's round, bitch.
I don't
Been
think that-
round, always is round, will keep being round, goes round and round the sun. Balls are round like the earth is round.
You're like
I don't
much-
give a
much
fuck
like
what
the-
it is,
much
but
like the
fucking
wheels
earth
on a
is
bus.
round.
I would like to just quote Counting Crows real quick.
Yes.
Round here, right?
Can I comedy for a cause? Can my set be just on?
Flat Earth.
No, I was thinking of snow days.
Yes.
Can
You
I do 5 minutes
on snow
I can
days?
do 5 minutes
For
on snow
sure.
days.
Let's put you up there.
Fucking haze. I'm in. I want 5 minutes in front of important people in Billings to bitch about snow days.
I think that's a great idea. Have you seen the recent cancellations of school?
I might be out of the loop on this slightly, gentlemen.
There's a
Pretend I'm completely naive.
okay.
Pitch me, please.
So a couple of like last week with the cold weather,
sure.
Historically cold.
historically
Yeah,
cold,
yeah.
fatal cold weather.
I always say
Potentially
it
fatal.
turns your car into a submarine. If it
Yeah.
fails, you die. Yes.
Correct.
That's how I leave the house. Yeah, it's not fun.
So last week or maybe 2 weeks ago now. They didn't cancel school, but they delayed school starting from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. because it was too cold at 8 a.m. for the kids to get to school. And I just...
You're telling me this podcast has a problem with that?
Well, I'm telling you that I personally have a problem with it because... And you're only 23 years old.
That's right.
But for those of us who are over 40,
That's definitely
we
true.
never had snow days, and we certainly never had too cold.
And I'm not trying to bitch like the old man walking up
school days.
The fucking hill both ways with no shoes on to go to school
Right.
every week. I'm not trying to be that guy. But these fucking kids are such fucking pussies anymore. Jesus fuck.
And what are these kids grow up to be, Pierce?
Bigger fucking pussies.
that make more kids. They're going to make more kids,
And
guys.
make more fucking pussies.
The news bulletin is in. They're going to make more children and raise them the same way.
It's just fucking insane that we're you guys, it's like cold outside. Just don't go out there. You're gonna get cold.
I'm torn. I'm torn on this. I'm torn on this. So
You want to protect the children.
But
No, what if
Eric,
you're from-
did you have to go to work when it was fucking cold?
Of course.
Everybody has to go to
That's
work.
why I'm a sturdy
Okay? When
dude.
you're a fucking 14-year-old kid, you know what your thing in life is? You know what your job is?
School,
to go to
man.
fucking school.
I know. No,
okay?
not
And
at
the
10 a.m., at
and
8
the-
a.m.
And the little fuckers that miss school all the time because they're out screwing around and shit.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what they're going to be when they grow up? Motherfuckers that don't fucking work.
Or
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos.
That too.
There's
Fuck.
There's a
Prove me wrong.
conundrum there for sure. But I agree with you, dude. I think there's a little bit of coddling going on. There's
So
a
would
little-
you gentlemen think there was a level of cold where the school should be canceled though?
Yeah,
You can't ask a child to stand outside waiting for the bus at a temperature that's going to freeze
No.
his nose off.
But when you
agree.
get the phone call from the school,
so
it
what's that
says,
temperature? What's
"Do
that
not
temperature?
allow
Did we
your-"
not hit that? Do we not hit that temperature?
I
Not in
just
my
don't-
opinion.
Yeah, I don't feel that we did.
What
I mean,
is
it
that
was
temperature?
cold.
So we looked up the coldest day
Oh, very good.
in the lower 48. It happens to be in Montana. Coldest day on record.
Sure.
Minus 70. That's too cold to go to school.
I will agree with that.
So you're like, when it's colder than one of the poles on Mars, yeah, we'll let the kids do a 2-hour delay.
Yeah,
You guys,
2 hour and on a negative 70 delay. That's when
Right.
2 hours is reasonable.
And I hate to be the bleeding heart person here, but I think part of the reason that comes from is that because you cannot be guaranteed of the economic situation of all the children, right? So some children have gloves and hats and stove pants and whatnot.
Sure.
We all know the children that
Yeah.
are coming from a very scary house and they walk out in pajama pants.
Uh-huh.
We
But
know
see-
children go to school in pajama
Shorts and
pants
no socks
and
on.
they're going to die. They're going to die.
Time out. I see motherfuckers that come from rich fucking houses walking out in their fucking shorts and shit when it's 25 fucking below. So don't give me that fucking bullshit. I don't give a fuck if that's
They're wearing
you're in the
bat-
worst-
they're wearing
you're-
battery-powered-
You're in the worst fucking house and you have no fucking clothes. There's rich kids that I watch walk in the fucking high school all the fucking time in a short sleeve shirt and fucking shorts and it's 20 fucking below.
JP,
Fuck you.
You watch
Listen,
a lot of kids go to high school, JP?
I know-
Yes, I,
we're-
have
listen.
kids in school.
Put the brakes on real quick. I know that we're not on like publicly syndicated radio or anything, but how much? There was a lot of fucks in that
I
sentence.
know, because it's fucking bullshit. If we're worried about the children, then we make them little bastards put on fucking pants, okay?
Sure.
I mean, you can't... We want it both ways anymore.
Well, my point is, and I agree with you, but my point is that I think that when I was in school, when high school, junior high, even elementary school, I think that there were days that hit 20 below, and we still had to go to school.
Yeah, we didn't have
And so I
recess
guess
and shit. Yeah.
I'm just angry that this really comes out now. It's like sitting with my psychologist right now. I feel like I've made a breakthrough because what it really comes down to is that I'm angry that these kids don't have to go to school when it's cold. Like
Right.
they should have to go to school because I had to go to school. I'm still here. I made it. I made it through all that. And we're tossing aluminum cans around. Or if you're from Great Britain, aluminium cans.
Aluminium.
I would argue though, why would it be so ridiculous if, and this is very sad, of course.
Sure.
But what if you came from a household that you were unable to have the warmth and the care to put up with minus 70 at the bus stop, so you personally wouldn't go to school?
Some of these kids have
And
heat
then-
when they get to school, and that's the only
I was
place.
just going to say, my question is like,
But so I guess what I'm saying, so that personal kid, as sad as it would be, makes the choice not to go to school, and they eat a sick day, and then later on you file a letter saying, well, why did it come in? Because it was -70, and I come from a place where it was. But so maybe not shut the whole school down.
Yeah, it should be
That should be a pass on the day. Like,
it should be
if your personal situation
maybe
doesn't
that's
warrant.
the answer. Maybe the answer is on days when it's below 20
Yes.
below,
Right.
below 20 below. You have the option of going to school,
Right.
and you can have your parents make you go, or you can opt to stay home
Right.
if it's that cold.
But if you're coming from a very
maybe you should get extra credit on the day that you show up, and it's 20
and I think
below.
we give the rich kids extra credit for showing up because of their rich background by being there.
Yep, absolutely. Give them more advantage.
Man, more advantage.
I think we bump them a little bit, and we let the Ivy League schools know that they showed up on the cold days, and we fast track them even further.
Take this kid, Harvard.
Well,
he never missed a
I
day
want
of
them
school.
to be on a CNBC American Greed as quick as possible. Yeah.
Well, my question sometimes is in my brain how this works is, are we trying to bring the metric system in here? Because 20 below Celsius is a totally different temperature than 20 below Fahrenheit.
Sure, yeah, it's way different.
So at
20 below Celsius, like, people are dead for sure.
I used a metric clock myself, actually. Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
back to clocks again. Oh, well, how about this? How do you feel about daylight savings time, since that's how we started?
Yeah. Don't get you started, or
No. Well, I think I would do away with the whole thing, guys.
Sure.
But do you want spring forward, or do you want fall back?
Neither. I mean, I would say whatever.
Which hours do you want? Or do you want us to change it by a half an hour, call it good?
do you think we're in the right now, because we're in
Yeah.
daylight savings time now? It just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you think we're in the current time right now, or before the daylight savings time?
I mean, that's a great question, but I'll be honest, I haven't given it that much thought. But I would say whatever it is, just keep it current and just be
never
done with
change it. Yeah.
and then we adjust to it going forward. And as the sun shifts relative to our planet, we adjust like every species has for 500 million bazillion years.
Dude,
on
I
this
can't-
planet.
I can't
The
agree with you.
polar
move
ice
on,
caps.
and we just
But
move
you
on,
can't.
and we just
Well,
move
time
on.
out. You can't say that though, because we've got global warming. So there's no adaptation. We can't adapt to anything. No, we've adapted for how long now? But now we have global warming.
That
And
doesn't
back
change-
to
that-
kids
change-
can't go to
global
school.
warming
Changing
hasn't
the
affected
clock.
The sun, though.
Changing the clocks
The
will
sun
save.
shows up when it feels like.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't hear it here, you're behind the times. We can fix global warming by simply changing our clock times.
Yes,
The time on the clock
Yep.
will save
done.
the polar ice caps.
That's the
That's-
Weekly Bee's new mission.
That's where we're at.
Mission in life is to get so that we leave the clocks forward an hour, and we will save the polar ice caps.
Rassy Rass,
Yes, sir.
are there? Okay, so we talked about the flat Earth conspiracy,
And
Are
then
they-
went off the rails like
and
we
then we
always
went
do.
off the rails a little bit.
But I would say that's what's so great about Flat Earth, man. Once you break up Flat Earth, once Flat Earth is on the flat table here, anything,
You open that door.
anything
Sure.
goes.
So that's my
Anything
question:
goes. But
is
come at me, Tom.
Are there any conspiracies that you
Yes.
think are real?
Yes.
I mean,
Ooh.
not the ones that have been proven, like the Gulf of Tonkin, and
Sure.
not those ones, but like ones that have not been solved that maybe you think, I kind of believe that a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm not going to present myself as an expert by any shape or measure.
Bigfoot.
But I would say, but I would say, boy, I don't go.
Boy, you see those wheels
I
turning
don't-
right
no,
there?
No, I don't go overnight camping to this day for that reason, man.
You're bigger than Bigfoot, though. You're 6'7".
No, he's afraid he'd be
no,
mistaken for
But
Bigfoot.
it's in his environment. Yeah, I'm responsible for most Bigfoot sightings in Montana over the last decade. That is true. That's just me taking a shower. That's me swimming. It's pretty.
And it's getting out of the lake.
That's
Big
me
fuck.
getting in the hot pots.
Bigfoot was at Chico. Bigfoot was at the mall. Me. Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's me trying a pair of pants at Buckle. Bigfoot was at the Buckle. Sure. Yeah. No, but Tom. So
He wears a 36-38 Big Star jean.
Bigfoot's trying to lose some weight. Okay, Bigfoot's.
Sorry, 34-38. I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you.
What's the conspiracy you
Yeah,
believe
you're
in?
a conspiracy.
No,
Sorry.
so here's there's
Rails.
there's two, and I would never say I'm a conspiracy theorist because the odds are that it's not true, right? Because if a conspiracy is true, that means the unlikely has happened. It's almost like saying there's been a miracle on Earth, right?
Sure.
And by definition, that shouldn't happen. It can't happen, But so the one that we've talked about a little bit, Tom, back in the past, is moon landing.
The moon.
I know
Yeah.
this is a hot button issue for you, man.
It really is. I
And-
struggle with it.
Yep. And I don't struggle with it. No. I don't struggle with it. Your forehead's on the microphone. Remember, it's your mouth. It's a microphone.
You're going to get a lot of sound from your forehead.
No, but what I will say, so I don't believe it. And I did a presentation back in my astronomy class back in the day about the opposite, like proving all that wrong. But I will say there was motivation, there was impetus for Kennedy to fake it because he put the gauntlet down. He said, okay, world, let's find out who has the top science guys,
right?
Who's got the top money to throw at these science guys? Let's put a man on the moon. Let's go. And guess who did it? Us.
America,
of course.
Yeah. Amazingly,
right, against all odds.
And then also, all of that evidence turned out to be faked.
Okay, that's a big statement. but Tom, here. So I acknowledge the impetus to fake it. I still think we did. But then the one that is so disappointing to me as someone not believing that, NASA did lose the original footage.
Of course.
No, not of course.
Of course they lost it.
And that literally, I'm sure you're well aware.
How convenient.
But that did come out. With
what an inconvenient truth.
Hey, so real quick, everybody, just want to let you know, all those clips on YouTube and off the TV and stuff, I'm sure I'm wrong on this, but it was something analogous to the fact that like a Smithsonian or the Congress was like, hey, let's take that original footage and we're going to put that in a lead box 1,000 meters under the ground and preserve it forever.
Right.
And then NASA goes, we would love to do that, but we don't have it.
We don't have it anymore.
That did happen.
Because of the Van Allen belts. It all got destroyed.
Okay, you're going to have to come at me with that now.
With the radiation from the Van Allen belts. That's why they didn't get to bring back any of the camera footage.
Okay, so that never occurred to me because, of course, then it's not like they're streaming the information back. They're physically recording while they're up there.
It's on film,
like film,
actual
like magnetically.
Film.
Yeah.
So here's my struggle, because at this point in my life, I'm smart enough to understand the fact that we did actually go to the moon. I believe we went to the moon
at some point or something.
But I think a lot of it was faked. Like I think they had a sound stage and fake footage, and then they also had the real footage, and they thought if anything goes wrong with the real footage, at least we have this as a backup.
Or I've heard even with the fakes, they were saying also they put those astronauts in orbit, even right. You know what I mean? It was still a daring, incredible mission.
Sure. Yeah. What's your other conspiracy theory?
Okay, this is
You're both fucking idiots.
This is a deep cut. That's not a conspiracy. That's true. That is actually true. That's the least conspiratorial statement that's ever been said here. No, and so I still honestly, deep down, I think this actually happened. But 9/11, Building 7. Yeah. And
I will. Piercy. I will spin some wheels on the Building 7. I've been doing a little reading on that since Alex Jones deal the other day, and.
Here's why I love to posit this. Sorry, Pierce, go on.
I realize our government does a lot of fucking shit that we don't know about.
Hopefully to our own benefit, though. Sure. Is where they're coming from.
Or is it? But anyways.
But it has to be just cui bono. It has to be to someone's benefit, though.
Yeah.
No one does it for fun, or no one does it for the opposite of that.
Well,
there has to be profit.
Or some kind of motivation, because otherwise,
why would you do it?
It's a ton of work. It's a ton of planning. It's a ton of secrets. It's a ton of all of it. Exactly.
And
who in the world does that organize?
No,
probably not our government.
You're going to be paying people off and locking people away, or potentially killing people.
Sure, knocking them off.
Not to get into politics or anything like that.
We are going to get kicked right off of YouTube. And I hope it happens.
Hillary's emails. We all know she did it. We all know they're out. The whole fucking. Everything about the election was she's going to jail, lock her up, blah, blah, blah. Well, between you, me, and a fence post, when everybody got to reading the emails and actually looked into it, everybody was like, oh, we can't put this fucking shit out.
Right.
Yes, does she need to go to jail? Yeah, but if we'd have to expose all this other shit, there's a lot of that goes on. I firmly believe that.
Sure.
Building 7, there was government shit going on in there. I've been in rooms that are in Billings, Montana that are government rooms that you don't even know about, that things are going on. There was something in that building.
I agree.
100%.
And we had to get rid of it.
And we couldn't let it be found. And for it to fall when it fell just is unexplainable.
Yeah, and how perfectly it fell.
Yeah.
There's that. What's your biggest damning evidence?
My question is...
Hold
on, no. My question on this, though, is how perfectly it fell. There's no way they had time to put that shit in there. So obviously, whatever the fuck was in there those bombs, those dynamite was ready to go before that even fucking happened.
Like it could have, like had the planes never hit,
They
it
could have
was
pushed the
still,
button.
It was still going to go down.
Yep.
So maybe those explosives have been sitting there for years,
Yes,
just waiting.
That's
for the
where
perfect
my
moment.
brain has gone in this. Like,
I-
as I've
I
read it,
don't-
is like
I can't discount that at
whatever
all.
was in that building, because there's no way they had time to lay that thing down like that. Because I don't know if you've ever seen this, but when like just for me to do the SWAT video for those guys to set up a couple little fake bombs took 3 hours to do.
Right, it's going
Right.
to take some time.
Oh.
Okay, so to blow up a whole building like that perfectly,
Months of preparation.
Yes.
I mean, the ones they blow up in Vegas, they take months of
Yes.
preparation. There's no one around. It's quarantined off, so nobody can get in there,
And
go
it's
around the
thousands of
explosives.
small charges at every core.
Yeah, and
joint.
it's hundreds of thousands of dollars to make sure that it all happens right,
Yep.
correctly. It doesn't hurt anybody.
that's the, as I get to reading this, that's how my brain thought of that. I've never read it anywhere, but that's where my
See-
brain went, was like, how the fuck do you fall this way? And everybody's like, oh, they went in there that morning and they set up. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, you can't do it that morning. In fact, that's the biggest piece of evidence I see on the opposite
No, that's
side.
ludicrous, of course.
Like to put the explosives in there to make it explode perfectly, it takes months of preparation, and I think that's the biggest piece of evidence that says it just happened from the accident from September 11th.
But as
What's
you,
your biggest piece of damning evidence?
But you can see that shit already being in there.
Sure, I mean
They
but they would
have
have
the right thing to hide.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm thinking it takes an entire team of people, and the only way that two people can keep a secret is if one of them's dead, right? So I don't think that you can get a whole team of 20 to 30 people all working for the government, all getting paid off,
No.
and blow up a building and not have any one of them talk
I know some Navy
And-
SEALs that don't say shit
and
about
sell
shit.
their
so
story to Esquire magazine or to Netflix or to somebody
It's
because
just Netflix now. Netflix owns it all now.
that's true.
Amazon owns the other half.
Yes.
But you're right. Like it's I just don't see how the coordination and the payoff could happen to where nobody will come out and say it. And maybe it hasn't happened yet, and maybe it'll happen in 20 years that some guy on his deathbed will say, I helped set the explosives in the Building 7. Maybe that will happen one
So
day.
that's always one of the biggest arguments against the moon landing conspiracy, is that you could only keep people quiet for so long, right?
Sure.
And so the moon landing was similar to the atomic bomb program. You had tens of thousands of people working on it. And out of a source of pride, you also had tens of thousands of geniuses working. It was our smartest people versus the world's smartest people. And for that decade, America had the smartest people. And I take that as a sense of pride, and I'm a dunce. And so that really makes me, no, but that really, I really take that with a sense of pride.
I get it.
But so what was also bizarre, so with
Can I interject real quick?
you may.
Could all of those 10,000
No, I
people...
take it back. Don't interject. I'm gonna keep, no, I'm kidding. No,
Could all of those 10,000 people have been working on what they thought was a moon landing? Could they have all been sitting in a room at NASA planning and thinking that they're landing the moon lander on the could they
Yes.
have all
Yes.
thought, like could 2 or 3 people have engineered a fake scenario that all of these people...
But so who filmed it? Who edited it, Tom? Who
Stanley Kubrick.
Who were? I know that's always which I love that because he was the top guy of the day, and he did 2001: A Space Odyssey. Isn't that a little
Sure.
heavy-handed? Isn't
No,
that a
it's-
little heavy-handed?
If the puzzle piece fits, man. If the puzzle piece
Sure,
fits.
sure.
But I thought it was Walt Disney.
Yeah, and maybe
No, his head
yeah.
is frozen in a box somewhere.
No, I mean that did that editing on the moon landing. I thought that's what everybody thought.
I thought he was dead by then.
69.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know that answer.
We should,
That's good.
did you Google that?
Yeah, please do.
Who
Please
said he
do.
was all the way dead by then? Another conspiracy theory.
So on the okay, I didn't mean to interject, but
No, I wish you would. No, that's the idea. Tom, it's called a conversation. It's
Sure.
it's a give and a take.
yeah, it really is.
But I mean, so you know what I mean, though. But and there's so many. Let's leave these grand conspiracies aside for a second. But it's like anytime anything goes down, people always end up talking about it. It just happens, and that's why there's all these history books that come out years and years and decades afterwards. Is because like, listen, turns out
66.
I was there. I was. Walt Disney did in 66.
Yeah, so he wasn't there for
And
the moon
landing
landing.
was like 69.
Well, that's a conspiracy too. He probably died right after
Okay,
he edited
so
the
then-
moon
so
landing.
then-
See, he
So
died.
so this
he
guy
died,
comes in,
he died
it's
and
all-
then did the moon landing.
Yeah.
So to Tom's logic, he goes, perfect.
Yes.
See, he's out of the scene.
I
dude.
knew he would have
He's
died
the least,
before.
He's the least person you'd expect, right? Yeah. No, but the one. Okay, so
When did we land on the moon?
if I may, so the
69.
9/11 thing drives me nuts because I don't think that's even possible. It makes no sense.
Yep.
But it's I guess it's analogous to the Pearl Harbor thing where they thought the president had maybe knowledge, but then he's like, well, there's no way we're going to stop this, so we're going to let this happen, and then we're going to use this to foment hatred towards the powers, and then we're in the
Sure.
war, But what I find so bizarre, though, is the way these skyscrapers are constructed is it's a steel beam internal construction because cities used to burn to the ground when they were all built out of wood. There'd be one a guy
Chicago.
a guy throws a cigarette or a cow allegedly kicks over a lantern, and the sidewalks used to not be cement. The sidewalks were wood, right?
Sure.
It was a wooden sidewalk to another wooden building.
It was a tinderbox waiting to
And
go
it
up in
just
flames.
Goes right,
Yeah.
and so ever since then, or that's when skyscrapers were allowed. We do these internal beam structures,
Right.
and the facades aren't even load bearing, but it's all nothing burns. I mean, the only thing that's going to burn are the cabinets, the carpets, and
The
furniture.
paperwork inside, yeah.
But nothing's going to happen because it's a steel beam construction. And so the knock on that, of course, was, and they would say, well, jet fuel came in, jet fuel burns so hot, and the towers come down. That's fine. I'll buy that. But as you know, Building 7 is across the street.
Right. So
You're telling me we get to 1,000 degrees that transfers into the building, and then you've seen the video how it collapses like this.
Yep.
I'm no expert. I'm not even a conspiracy theorist, but my goodness, that is very confusing and scary to me.
Well, so the latest theory, or what they've said, is that there was propane tanks underneath Tower 7 that
So
caught
accom-
on fire.
To accomplish what? What? Do other buildings have propane tanks?
Gosh, I don't know. But that's what they're saying
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
reason. The fire started from the propane tanks and burned the inside of the building.
Sure.
That's-
Maybe. I mean,
And that's why when I
to
hear
be honest, I hope so. I hope that's the explanation. I hope that's it. Case closed.
But
I'm
when
out.
I hear that, I'm just like, well, clearly.
But why didn't someone say that the next day?
Yes.
Where was it? Where was it? Day 2. Turns out propane tank building went down. As you know. Like, okay. Well. Okay.
What do you think was in Building 7 that needed to be destroyed?
Oh, boy, this
Is
is
Kennedy.
Is it,
this is a long. And by that you mean the MTV VJ Kennedy. Of course. She's not cool anymore. Take her out.
She hasn't been cool in years, right?
Let's end it. Let's end this long national nightmare. No.
I didn't know whether to laugh or laugh.
I don't know.
I was trying to decide which laugh to
I
use
was,
there.
I was just trying to yes and you there, pal. I don't know. But no, so I forgot exactly what it was, and this is a documentary a long time ago I watched. Could be a lie, but wasn't there there was some here it comes government stuff that was going on there. You know what I mean? Like, and
Right.
a couple of the floors were taken out because they were manufacturing or doing research on some.
It was actually a multi-level
You-
marketing ring.
You tell
yeah, I was just gonna say. In fact, you could
It tells
literally
me
say
unique makeup was based out of there, which I think we're all better for it. But
you could literally say anything was in that building because it doesn't exist anymore. So you could just make up whatever you wanted and say, you know,
I said unique makeup actually. I did.
sure you did.
No, but point made. No, it's gone exactly. So you tell me what the motive is. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you can literally say whatever, and nobody can prove you right or wrong. So
Yep.
whatever you
And
say
can
is
I
correct.
also say, and I know both you guys know this, so as insane as all this conspiracy stuff is, and I am not a conspiracy guy, but with history, you go back 50, 100 years, like 10% of these conspiracies are actually true.
They actually are
Right?
true.
So which means 90% are not, which is why you should walk about your daily life saying it's not true. But with history, looking back, 10% were.
Right.
So
So-
as you said, Gulf of Tonkin or some of the
Yeah.
JFK stuff,
Yep.
yes, CIA was doing secret wars to influence elections and so forth.
Right.
Still are.
And I'm sure they still are, and I'm sure 20 years from now we will revisit all these conspiracies that are happening as we currently live our lives. But you're right, 90% of them are false. But the 10% that are real make all the new ones that come out on
Make
a
Alex
daily
Jones
basis.
relevant.
Yeah, well they do, and then they also make you, hopefully, if you have any extra time in your day or you have any curiosity in your mind, make you kind of question everything that comes up, right? Because
Right.
if 10% have been true, then maybe this new crazy one about the Earth being flat, maybe that's true, but I know that it's not. What
I
I'm
have a
saying is
question then.
take everything with a grain of salt and maybe do a little research for yourself and figure out
Yes.
what could be true or what isn't.
Look at you bring it full circle, Tom. Very
Why
Yeah.
does Tupperware disappear?
That's a conspiracy. It never disappears. I just lose the lid a lot.
I was about to say,
lids go.
where the lids go. That's,
Yeah, the
that's,
lids is the problem.
God, that's genius.
Where's the other sock?
I recently bought Tupperware that has a lid attached to it, and I'm like, this is perfect. I'll never lose another lid again.
Yeah, put that in the
hilarious.
fucking dishwasher.
That's hilarious.
The problem is
How could
they
there be,
take
how
up
could there be any problem with that?
they take up twice as much room in your cabinet.
Oh, you can't nest them.
Mm-mm. You can't nest them because they have a lid on the other. You can nest them inside of each other, but then the lid makes them twice as big.
Well, then I suppose they fill up twice as much space in the fucking dishwasher.
Yeah, they sure do, bud. They sure do. The lids can pop off, but still, it's very difficult. There's no
do you remember
right
White
answer.
people problems.
There's no right answer.
Mm-hmm.
There's no white answer.
No
Do,
right
do you
answer.
remember, do you remember? So Alex Jones used to go on Rogan back in the day, right?
Sure,
And
it's
the
been
Rogan,
2 or 3 times.
yeah, of course. And
It was
Rogan,
just on the week ago. You
to try
caught
to-
that one,
yeah,
right?
That one was less redeeming as the other ones.
Well, but the problem was it was too fucking long. They went 4 hours and
Because
just
you turn that guy loose, and then he can't keep on the rails anymore.
no.
But what Rogan said though, he goes, no, back in the 80s or 90s, and I looked into this. It's true. There was that secret society of the owls, where like the wealthiest people from a couple of countries would get together, dress up like owls, do these ceremonies, and
real.
and bless each other. That was real. That's the 10% I'm talking about. Yeah,
And Operation Northridge, like
that sounds familiar. I don't recall.
that one's real. Gulf Tonkin's real. So like
Oh yeah. But
So-
yes, some of that's
you throw enough shit at the wall, and some of it's gonna
10%
stick, right?
of it is real. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. It's
Or
crazy.
This is a super lame one, but I used to be an Area 51 guy back in the 90s when I was like in junior high. Right?
Like Roswell, like
Yeah,
with the
Roswell,
aliens.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. And I'm not
And you quit?
and I'm not going to say they have an alien craft or whatever, but what
Say it.
I just want you guys to ask first. That's all.
I was going to.
I want you
but
to warm me up just a little bit, then we'll get there. No, but what I am saying though,
I'll
is
buy you dinner.
In the 50s, they were testing supersonic stealth aircraft.
Sure.
That is true because we have them now,
Yep.
and they didn't appear out of nowhere. And so there was a very large percentage of UFO, quote unquote, UFO sightings were supersonic stealth USA aircraft ripping across your farm fields or whatever.
Right. In Reno, yeah.
Those people weren't crazy.
No.
You saw something that you didn't know existed, and it was there. And that's a UFO, and that's a conspiracy. Both are true.
And that's what I'm saying. 50
so I
years
can't-
later, it's going to come out. Like, it's,
And that's
yeah.
and that's my point exactly. Is that so? There's these things today. You tell me. I don't know.
right. I guess if we stay long enough, we'll figure it out. But
I would also even put a little sauce on the top there. We live in Montana, gentlemen. If I'm testing top secret U.S. Technology, Montana's where I'm going to do it.
Montana and Wyoming are great places to do this shit.
Yes.
For sure.
And these aircraft,
And so
are-
is the desert of Nevada where
even
no one
coming on
lives.
Area 51 when you're flying that fast. You know what Montana, Wyoming is? It's a trip around the block. That's,
Sure.
That's no.
It's 18
big,
minutes
that's
away.
No big deal. That's
just a
no
quick
big
stop.
deal. They come
What about-
in,
there
they do a
was-
little primer at Chico and they come right back. you know?
Yeah. No, there was recently
Take
some
a dip. Yeah.
crazy lights over, not New York City.
You pick.
Yeah, no, you're right. There maybe Phoenix. There was some crazy lights
Well,
over
the-
Phoenix.
Oh, that was just D-Mouse.
The
He
Phoenix
was having a rave.
the Phoenix lights are one of the got a little other sorry.
That's all right.
The Phoenix lights are one of the largest mass sightings of all time.
Right.
They've never been debunked 100%. But as logic goes, you go, well, if you have the ability to travel through space and time at a level that it would take to get to Earth, you're only seen if you meant to be seen. It's not like you go, oops, we're over Main Street, Phoenix, or we're in Old Town Scottsdale. Sorry, didn't realize.
Sure.
But that was still mysterious lights that have never been explained. Yeah.
Yeah, have you
What
watched the
pessimist
video?
said that they meant to be seen?
What's that?
What pessimist said that they flew here to mean to be seen? Like,
Well,
No, what he's saying is if they had the technology to get here, then they
you
certainly
don't
have the
accidentally
technology.
hover over a city.
Yep, you certainly have the technology to not be seen if you can travel through space and time.
Right. You're either, oh, we're here to make contact. We come in peace. We come in war. Greetings, new species. Or you're never seen.
Do you think
that stands to reason? I think, does it not?
in my head
It's
it
like
does.
it's us sending things to all our explorers to Mars, right? We're picking the most likely spaces for us to have nice landings and interesting topography. if there was any kind of electricity or any kind of a warmth up there at all, that's where we're going intentionally to be seen.
Also, if you think about it this way, abstractly, if there was anything on Mars that showed any signs of life, do you think that we would just go land a rover there, or would we observe it from 1,000 miles away first?
I think we'd already be in there.
No, that's my point. Like,
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, Tom, but that's a great question.
yeah, if we sent a radio beam to Mars and it showed signs of life, I don't think we would just bum rush the planet. I think we would take our time. We would
Sure, but
we'd be a little careful about it.
Did you know every one of our satellites, or I shouldn't say, or every one of our explorers and every one of our landers and every one of our probes has that plate on it with pictures of human beings?
Of course.
The Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
No, really. But,
Yeah.
And like, it's like, here's the best we got, and it says.
Explain what the Fibonacci sequence is for the listeners.
Yeah, well, no, that's just it's like the golden section. It's just numbers that just make sense. It's if you add the next number coming to the number behind it. So like
One
one,
to- one.
two.
Yeah.
Your 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 1 is 3. 3 + 2 is 5. 5 plus whatever I said, and going so forth.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep.
But all it is it's supposed to be the most basic idea of intelligence, right? That doesn't happen accidentally necessarily.
Sure. Yeah, if you can figure out math.
That's all.
Yeah.
Right. And then I also think that we also put like a vinyl style recording
I know.
of like a Beatles song.
Beatles and Michael
favorite
Jackson,
thing.
isn't
I
it?
don't know what I would love to know what it is.
It's
Although
MJ for sure.
that should be the theme song of this podcast, or what it is. Like, this is what.
Do you
that
think-
also really sucks with this recent documentary that we sent a pedophile's song into the galaxy, I suppose. But
Yeah, because we didn't know back
here's
then.
what we're all about, guys. This is our whole.
Yeah, no, we had no idea.
Here's
Yeah.
our whole.
We had no
He
idea.
built his
Yeah.
own place called Neverland Ranch. And
Sure, he had monkeys and elephants and
I'm sure
giraffes.
back then.
Also,
no.
R. Kelly. Hold on, before we get to R. Kelly, do you think life exists out there?
Yes. No questions asked.
No. Yeah.
Mathematically, it has to happen. Yeah.
Right.
The Drake's equation. Yeah.
we can't be the only ones.
It literally cannot be. Now, I've also said this. You have never seen our galaxy to scale represented anywhere, right?
Sure.
If Earth is the size of a marble, now Pluto's not a planet anymore, but traditionally it was, whatever. But so if Earth is the size of a marble, Pluto is a half a mile away.
Right.
No museum has ever. There's one like in Europe, or every once in a while they'll do that, where you can like drive down the street and in a public park. Oh, and here's what Pluto was.
Yeah,
right? But that's the size of the galaxy. Sorry.
They had one
Or our solar system.
on the Discovery Channel where
Oh, there you go. Yeah, sure.
where Earth was the size of a basketball.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
they drove. They were in New Jersey, I want to say.
Yes.
And then they drove to like
Oh my goodness.
Tennessee,
That's what I mean.
and
Right.
that's how far away Pluto would
Correct.
be, or the end of the solar.
But
solar
So like
flare.
Montana.
for all
Yeah,
no, but so for all intents and purposes, Pluto's the edge of the solar system,
sure.
and that is empty, vacuous, ice cold, kill you space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why going to the moon was terrifying.
My most favorite thing that I've seen recently is that you could fit every single one of our planets,
Sure.
all of them,
Sure.
between the Earth and the moon.
No problem.
All of them fit.
No problem. And
The
that's including-
biggest
and
one,
that's including
Jupiter. Yep.
which is
Jupiter and Saturn, which are almost
Jupiter-
identical in
Jupiter
size.
is so baller.
Yeah, it's so baller.
No, but it saves our ass.
Jupiter, you motherfucker.
You should be, if you're going to pray to something every day, you should pray to Jupiter.
I
That-
couldn't
that-
agree more.
yeah,
it
that
sucks
is not
in.
true.
It sucks in
Exactly.
all of it.
Exactly.
I
yes.
pray to Saturn's rings. They're sexy.
But that's how.
That's for personal reasons, Pierce. Let's not. Let's
But there's enough distance between the Earth and the Moon to
Right.
fit all of the planets in
right.
there.
Yes.
Yeah. So have you ever thought of this theory though?
If
'Cause I
R.
agree.
Kelly was on the moon.
Do you piss up? My question is this:
Yes.
have you ever entertained the theory that maybe, just maybe, that human beings,
Mhm.
are the only intelligent life out there, and that it is part of our job to branch,
Yep.
to figure it out? Because
Yep.
it's very
Oh, my
arrogant,
goodness.
egotistical for sure. But what if we are the smartest things? What if we're the smartest thing that's figured out language and religion and
That's true.
destiny?
Nope, that's true. Yep.
And we are the
Nope.
first
Global
and we are
warming.
the first,
that very,
and we are the first stepping
and
stone.
we're killing ourselves. Yeah.
We're the first stepping stone
That very well could be, and we have no evidence to say otherwise.
No way of knowing.
Zero evidence otherwise.
Yeah.
And I would say,
And it took 13.5 billion years to make this creature.
because the complexity of one cell in your body is such that it very well could have never happened anywhere, even with the shocking amount of planets, the overwhelming. You could do this for hours, but you could.
Sure.
Here's another one. Put your fingernail up to the sky. Close one eye. Pick one spot the size of your fingernail. There's 100,000 galaxies that we know of in your thumbnail. Galaxies,
Right.
And
And
so,
in each galaxy, there's 100 billion stars, and each star has 25,000 or 25 planets around
Correct.
it. Yeah.
this is how you burn out a calculator, right? Remember when you were little and you would do like, how
Yeah.
many times can I multiply 9 times 9? Well, like 13.
I never went that far. One plus one.
Like 13 equals, and you're there.
JP was just typing in 8008
Yes.
and looking at boobs all day.
Boobs.
That's 1 trillion boobs, dude. But if that's what it takes for JP to understand the depth of the galaxy, it's 1 trillion boobs, dude.
No, I
Trillion
totally
boobs.
agree.
And your fingernail covers all that. But so to your point, though, Tom, dude, you're exactly right.
Sure. I mean, like
Although,
you said,
is that any less? I don't find that any less amazing than there being 100,000
Life forms out there.
civilizations with basketball teams and cars and
Sure.
whatever. You know what I mean? Like, have at it. It's equally stunning, and
Both-
both
yeah.
are likely. And both are likely.
both are equally likely,
sure.
and both equally fucking fascinating.
Yes.
Right? Just
yes.
mind-boggling. I don't think the human brain can quite understand
No, it
what
won't- no, it
infinity
cannot. It
means or
cannot.
what
No, it
all
cannot.
of that means.
No. Our brain evolved. I'm stealing Richard Dawkins here, but our brain evolved to understand the medium, right? And by medium, I'm saying medium, my car, you, a basketball, a rock, a tree, medium-sized stuff, and we do a pretty good job doing the medium.
Sure.
But reality is based on super small and super large, and neither really registers with us.
JP, how are we on time?
We could go for a minute more, but that's about it. Because Jesus, Eric talks.
Let me ask you this then.
R. Kelly.
I was asked to be here.
I'm just kidding.
I want to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and this
I like how that's your qualifier.
this question doesn't ever seem to get answered for me.
Well, I'm sure I'm not going to have it.
So let's talk about it real quick.
Yeah.
I want to know what your thoughts are in this all being a simulation. All of it. Like we live in a simulation right now. Like
Jaeger bombs.
yeah. JP says Jaeger bombs, and I agree with you.
Do you want my short answer or my long answer, man?
I want the short answer first.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. We can end
And
there.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this week. No,
Pierce, literally, no, get us out of here. But I'm telling you, we are probably in a simulation.
'Cause-
I've done enough. Not trust me, I'm not intelligent enough to come up with that. But I'm telling you, I've read the smartest minds on the subject, and it really comes down to, I'm not sure if you guys are gamblers or not. I know you both actually are gamblers.
Sure.
But it comes down to a bet. If you're betting on if this is real life or a simulation of a higher power, the smart bet, this is a simulation.
Right, because the timeline is long enough in our simulated world that this is all. I mean, if we've really been around for 13.5 billion years, and this has all just been repeated over and over.
So let me. This is going to be a hack explanation.
I want you to blow my mind
No,
right
this will be
now.
a hack explanation, and we're done with this. All right. But so arguably, your brain. So no, your phone is like faster at math or whatever. But you would still say your phone, or you are smarter than your phone. You know what
or
I
a
mean?
fifth grader.
Right.
Sure.
But you're smarter than your phone, right? So you have one brain, but how many programs are on your phone? 15, 20, 30, 50, right? So your brain is smart. Your phone is less smart, and you've got multiple programs, okay? So if you do the direct equation, as we talked about how many galaxies and, planets there are, so most likely there is virtually an infinite amount of intelligent creatures out there in the galaxy. So that's you. Each one of those intelligent entities has the ability to make phones. So each one of those phones has more programs than there are people. So
Sure.
right now we're saying there are more programs than intelligences. So the odds are we're a simulation.
I totally agree, man.
That's it right there.
So that's why I just say live every day of your life to the fullest, because we're really just living in a simulation.
That's right.
And none of
And
this
that's
shit
why
matters.
that's why I'm going to buy a house that I can't afford. I'm going to finance it through Tom Paxino.
I was going to say, I know a great realtor for you. Or I mean a semi-great.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
Wait, I appreciate you boys having me on here. I'll come here anytime.
Dude, this was so
I
much
appreciate
fun.
what you do,
So much fun.
and we'll do it again in this life or the next. All right.
As always, Eric Rasmussen, you are a pleasure to be on the show. You definitely make us think.
Could
in
you
a
say the
different
word
way.
pleasure again, Pierce?
Pleasure. Make sure everybody likes and subscribes. Make sure that you're at Hooligans. Stop by, say hi. Saturday during the live show, 1 to 2:30.
Yep.
We will be at the beer pong table, broadcasting live, or at least making an attempt at it.
Yeah,
if
come
not,
say
at least,
hi.
If not, at least recording a show that I will put out later someday. Because I've never done this before. Remember, Tom?
Lie. I've done this literally 0 times.
I've literally done this 0 times, and Saturday I'm going to literally have done it 0 times as well. But we're
Should
going
we
to give
practice before
it.
then?
We might give it a shot.
Okay, good talk.
Okay. Thanks. What day do you want to drink this week? We want to see everybody out Saturday. We appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Corey Champney, I apologize.
Gosh,
We
darn it.
just couldn't make it again this week.
I
We
thought-
just run out of
hey,
time.
We're not talking to Corey tonight.
We're
Not
not
tonight.
talking to
Are
Corey
you
tonight.
what?
Well,
We just ran a little late.
yeah.
I got to respect that. Okay.
Yeah,
that's true.
no, when he
Okay.
asked how much time, and I forgot Corey was out there. So,
Oh my God.
Corey, we'll try and get you in next week.
Champ, we
appreciate
miss
it.
you, buddy. I'm
Thanks,
sorry
buddy.
we couldn't get you on tonight. It's really shitty.
Thanks, guys. Subscribe, The Weekly Bee.
Bye.